So my friend told me earlier today, she was like, you keep posting stuff, like the stuff you post on Instagram, people gonna think you crazy. And I'm like, but if I was crazy, who would you blame? Now, if I was crazy, so they say, who would you blame? If you read my Google article that said I was homeless from age 13, 19, you would understand that I felt the cracks of the system that was supposed to help me for about 5 years, 5 to 6 years, yeah. And then I graduated high school on my own. I got my own first apartment. When that's something they don't teach in school, money. They don't teach that in school. But guess where I had been working all throughout high school to graduate and to go on to college? Ray Ray's Italian freaking beef. And guess who teaches money? A man that opens a business all by himself on his own. He taught me money. Wanna know what else taught me money? Living with my foster mom taught me money. Like she was not my foster mom. She's really a family friend. Um she's really like my aunt. And she taught me money. I got my own first apartment and I learned that from there. I learned everything else after that. But you know that gap in that gap of the gap that you messed up? Mm. And then they going first thing they always try to pull is your past. The first thing you gonna say is, "Oh, she was homeless. She don't know what she talking about. She's fine. Ain't nothing happened to her." And then you look at my YouTube page and you're like, "Yeah, I fell through that system." So I started my job at a Ray Ray's Italian Beef. Let me get to why. Who would you blame? I got to my job at Ray Ray's Italian Beef. I was there for a while. I want to say I was there for. Hmm. I wouldn't say for a minute though. I was there for a bit. I was there from age 19 to I want to say about 25, 26 before I had my kids. My last two kids, Sophia and Sajeda. And that probably was impactful. It helped me learn a lot. I went to college. I decided that college wasn't worth going to for me. So I decided that I was going to get 14 certifications in management and all these other different things. But which I did, which is how you guys end up coming to meet me at Wendy's. But yeah. Now, when I really tell the story of who you would blame, you would start to look back to my childhood. And the first person you would think to blame would be my mother. But my mother is taken out of the game. If you really think how I think, my mom got taken out like chess. They took out the mother and the father. So they left the child by themselves, which they left the state to raise, if that's what the state would say. But I think the state and the feds all know like they sell drugs. They sold drugs. And this ended up in our neighborhood, and this caused my mother to go to prison. So monopolized, they knocked out the father and the mother instantly out of my life. My grandmother was trying to raise us, all of that, but my mom was just after coming back from what she did, she got busted in the head. She got 19 stitches in her scalp. So people always say that, oh, your mom was on drugs, your mom was on drugs. My mom was not always on drugs. I'm gonna tell you that off the top. She was not always on drugs. And my mom was not a bad person. I'm gonna say that off the top. My mom was never a bad person. She might not have the best character of times. She may not have the best mouthpiece, the best way to talk to me, mindset sometimes. But my mom was never like that. Um, that bad of a person where I couldn't see her ever recovering, trying to figure out her mental state. No, I don't doubt that one day that my mom will figure it out all on her own. She don't need no help. My mom is a very strong, persevering person. You don't stop her. You don't get in the way of an almost 6 foot person. She's huge. That's a 6 foot black woman. Like you go over there and fight and argue with her because it's not gonna be me. Okay. She birthed me. I'm gonna know my place and be humble. Okay. But some things I don't back down on when it comes down to issues with her. She knows that. I don't hide that. Um, you would have to ask yourself, who would you blame? The first person you would blame will be my mother. The second person you would blame will be my father. But let's just say that if the government sells drugs, which they admit on national television, you can get on any history channel, and they say that the war on drugs was false, and they were actually bringing it in to pay for the war to go into their country to invade them for some more drugs because it was a war on drugs. And my mom's was definitely out of whack. My dad's definitely out of whack. Um, I'm a 90s baby. So they were taking out the game. The second thing you would think was, okay, so how did you fall through these mysterious cracks? Me and you both, me wondering the same thing. Like, how did I fall through these mysterious cracks? Fast forward after Ray Ray's Italian Beef. During the Ray Ray's Italian Beef, I also worked multiple jobs. I've quit the job and came back and returned and came back when it came to Ray Race because I was a college student that could do that. You know, that's what you do when you're a college student. You don't have to stay forever. But I learned a lot there, so I liked it there for a while. I went through quite a bit, moved on. Next level from there was, I must say, hmm, Speedway? No, something before Speedway. Oh, my job doing the bartending thing at Myers. I was the shot girl in the aisles at Myers. Then I did Speedway. My shot glass job was way more paying than any other job that I had at the time because, of course, you need to start a state certification to serve alcohol. And just guess who just so happened to have one? Me and several others. I went to Speedway. I went through an incident where people literally called people monkeys and they called me a monkey and I literally reported it basically because I didn't have it on camera. It wasn't allowed. Basically they told me, HR told me, Wendy from HR, and I can't remember her name. I can't remember other two. Some lady from HR. I think her name was Wendy though. And one of the cross managers there, I can't remember his name exactly. What was his name? I don't know, but he was over who was overseeing me, which was Trina, which was a GM. My GM had got sick, so I went to Trina's. Trina GM, like her main assistant that stepped down as assistant manager, literally was calling me monkeys. And I didn't appreciate it. I ain't gonna lie. I didn't appreciate the lick. I reported it. Wendy from HR told me, "Oh, you should have took it as a joke." Okay, understood. I'm like, I'm gonna have to shake that off one day. Shake it off. So I shook it off. I started another job. Where did I go? I went to Sam's Club, and I've had a few in between there, but I can't remember. Oh, I had the cash store. This is a revelation that people would never, never, never want to ever admit, but I worked for a cash store and I was a general assistant manager there. And I realized that this is like a cultural thing. It's not just one thing, it's two things. One lady told me the only reason that she has a problem with black people at that job was because of the crime rate, black on black crime rate. When I showed her that, the statistics, the rape, child molestation, and all those type of things are mostly in their court, she wasn't happy to see. She also wasn't happy to see that the rate of murders happening is the same, interchanging through races. And the drugs, same amount. Everybody's doing the same thing. It's just that these people, because of the color of our skin, were more likely to get in trouble. She understood. Her husband understood because they raised a black boy. Definitely. Um, I worked at another job. It was the job before I got with Wendy's, and it was another job before that. I really realized that the reason why I've always switched a job was because of my treatment. Um, the treatment of staff is really critical, but the way that I was treated at Wendy's was like an eye opener because this wasn't the first time I had seen this type of behavior, and I said something about it. And at the time, the person that I was speaking to, which was the person that was directly underneath our general manager, she told me that he acts like this all the time. You just gotta suck it up. That's exactly what they told me. I'm like, okay. Um, that's not to mention what happened on my first day. And I was like, you know what? I wanted to quit so bad. Y'all just don't even want to know. But my spouse was on my head. He was not playing no roles, and he was telling me like, just tough it out, tough it out. You got this. You know you one of the best people to do this job. He said stop being discouraged. He was keeping me enlightened on knowing who I am and don't let nobody back me down. And I get it. Like I understand now. I didn't understand then. I was pissed. I was livid. Like he keeps doing this every day. And not to mention this other lady that used the N-word doing this every day too. I'm tweaking. My spouse is upset. Like, no, you're not quitting this job. Stick it out, tough it out. Just, if you need to, talk to me, just inbox me, blah, blah, blah. Just send me the messages. So, I'm just recording, mind my business, me, mind my business. And I just went throughout days like this, days on end where people were talking to me reckless. So I just kept recording it and saving it. And further on going, we got to the situation where we are now, and that's why we were just sitting at bay. But my point is like, who would you blame? That would be hard to pinpoint. If I was crazy, who would you blame? I don't know. I just kind of broke down a lot of these different stories to you, and all of the things seem to relate the same. It's the culture of how people are treated while they're working that we have these dilemmas where people don't understand that this is not okay behavior. No matter how much you report it, they think that this is okay. The same thing that happens in the police department when somebody comes to report a hate crime and they don't mark it as a hate crime. Happens in my city all the time. Let me be the preacher to that choir. It just happened to me recently. So I'm like tired of people getting away with crimes and they think that it's okay. These are hate crimes. And if nobody's going to stand on it, I'm going to stand on it. All these things that are happening are hate crimes. And my city writes them off as just, oh, regular crime. Assault with a deadly weapon, you get probation. You know? So I just self reflect on that. I self reflect on all the times where I was inside this building and the 16-year-olds wasn't able to speak up for themselves or say something to somebody in power, and the way they was treating them wasn't right. And I feel like at the end of the day, if you didn't notice inside that video, those two kids that were in that video were minors. So I want you guys to understand like the way that I felt impacted as a mother, as a boss, as a manager. I felt upset and ashamed. And I felt like I wasn't gonna get my pride back. I have been crying and crying and crying, and now y'all finally seeing me pop out outside of my TikToks. But who would you blame? The culture. Would you blame me? Would you blame the system? Would you blame what would you blame? Would you blame who would you blame? And I really gotta ask you guys that because this draws me into why I don't think this man is crazy. I don't think Rashad Jamal is crazy. That's why I don't think he's crazy because if you telling me this is the type of behavior y'all willing to lie and cover up inside of a police station, inside of a Wendy's, inside of wherever you are, why wouldn't this make sense? It makes a lot of sense to me. It makes a lot of sense because if this book is called His Story, where's her story? Because I'm trying to see it. I'm trying to see this make sense because this ain't making no sense. And what he's saying is making a lot of sense. So if I'm wrong, somebody need to come and wake me up or enlighten me somewhere else because this making a whole lot of sense to me. This makes sense to why I feel the way I feel and why I'm so upset. It's either I'm crazy or it's real. Because I'm literally going back reanalyzing with y'all right now how I just went through my whole entire life like this. Like, explain, y'all. Explain. Like, who would you blame? I would like to know because I'm trying to figure it out too. Am I lying? No. You're more than welcome to go on Google and look my whole name up. It's right there at the top of your thing. You're looking at me, so you know who would you blame? So I'm sitting back self-reflecting on why I don't think this man is crazy due to probably all the trauma I just went through, especially at Wendy's, because it's embarrassing having the kids that you give rides home to, including the manager that you didn't give a ride home to, talk to you kind of crazy. I think it impacted me more because the way it hit me when it hit me, and then the way I was treated after the fact, like I think it hit me more. So I think that's probably why I don't think this man is crazy, because this is literally what gave me literally motion to breathe, to keep going. And meditating, between him telling me to meditate on it, and it's not just him. I got people on TikTok too. Quato. But no, for real though, on TikTok, Quato. He helped me build my page so I could get here. It took a community to build me, not just the community that y'all think y'all see behind me, the community outside my home. I'm including the community that helped me get off my feet to get a voice. And for a long time I thought I was going insane, feeling crazy, and I'm like, I'm not going insane. For like the last, I ain't gonna lie to you, for the last 3 4 months, I just been self-reflecting. Then I remembered these videos that I never returned to, and I remember why. It's because they took the page down. So I decided to go back and find these videos, and I ran across it on some a youth shared it to me. A young kid, a blue crystal, shared it to me, actually, as a matter of fact, a youth kid. And I started researching more, and then going further. I'm like, okay, so I remember I left off here. Where do I go from here? So now here we is, like 3 4 5 months ago, and I've been watching these, once or twice a day. Think about it. This really makes sense to why I feel like I'm upset. It make a lot of sense to where all this anger coming from. So who would you blame? You can't blame my ancestors. You can't blame me. And I'm just sitting back thinking, like, I just got recycled. Say I'm lying. Say I'm lying. Why this really makes sense to the point where I'm over here like, I don't think this could be a lie. I don't think there's no way. Like, I'm not saying there ain't no way. You could probably find a way to try to make this make some sense to somebody else. But after the way I done watched this go on and on and on and on before I even said something on the internet, the way that I see black people dragged on and on and on, Jada Pickett Smith business on and on and on. I don't see y'all airing out Dolly Parton stuff. I don't see y'all airing out nobody else business. I don't see y'all airing out Hugh Hefner for having y'all young daughters out. But I see Cosby getting aired out. I'm seeing everything through different lenses, and I'm over here looking like, who would you blame? Who you gonna blame? Me for my mindset or the way that I'm thinking of it? Or is it just me? Or are we missing a gap? There's a gap that somebody needs to fill in, because there's a lot of things being done and ain't nobody fixing Jack Diddley on squat. But I'm finna say something, because maybe ain't nobody else saying nothing, but I'm finna say something. This ain't finna slide like this. I'm sorry. And I'm quite sick of it, to be honest. I'm worn out and I'm tired of saying something and nobody doing nothing. Like, at this point, like, what we supposed to do? Keep holding hands and singing "Kumbaya"? No, that's not the one I'm saying. Lion King. The one I'm thinking is "Be Free" and the Akuna Matata. That's what I'm thinking of. But point is this: at the end of the day, this is exhausting. For me to feel alone and not have nobody to talk to about this. This is exhausting. This is literally exhausting. And if this is what healing looks like, and you don't like how my healing looks, oh well. Expect me to be me, or whoever this new person is, because of whatever done happened to me now, and I done broke down, been down on my knuckles, crying at home. Expect me to be me. Expect me to not like things, and expect me to say it, and expect me not to want to regret them. Want to know why? Because some portion of that was true. Not the emotion behind it, but some portion of whatever I said to you had to have been true. Bottom line. And a lot of people may not like that, but it's facts. And it's fine for me. Like, I'm not gonna change who I am just so y'all can feel better about this or that, or this or that court cases, and this, or how you feel on Instagram or YouTube or any of that. I'm not worried about how nobody else is viewing me, because this literally is happening right now and I don't even have no viewers. So I'm just saying, at the end of the day, I'm not here for the viewers. I'm here for y'all to connect and understand that y'all are missing the main point. There is a bridge that needs to be gapped. Like the gap and bridge need to meet. Like, hey, bridge, meet gap. Now you, bridge, are going over the gap. And the gap gonna help people. The bridge gonna help the people get over this gap to get to where they need to be. Because at this point, I feel like the timeline is moving too slow, and I need to speed it up or something, because this too much for me. If they end up putting me in a mental home, you wanna know why? It's because it is. Because something broke in me. And if it broke, it was because of Wendy's shoe. Because at the end of the day, I felt like my lowest happened after that. And that's just, at the end of the day, that was it. And that bothers me. And I feel like this is one spot that me and all my brown friends can actually fit in, not us judging each other for our differences and not liking each other or being mistreated. Being black and unapologetically black is just gonna be the only way I'm gonna have to take it. I'm a Native American. I'm born this way, gonna walk and talk this way. I'm gonna look this way. I'm gonna always be pretty this way. I'm gonna always have a beautiful mind this way. I'm gonna always be strong this way. I'm gonna always have a strong will this way. This is what it is. And I don't even put this up here for y'all to just be like, feeling like y'all left alone. Y'all are not alone. If you out here on this spiritual journey, because at this point they calling us conspiracies. If you out here on this spiritual journey and you trying to find yourself, this is what healing looks like. It take you a minute. Yeah, you ain't perfect until you get into your whole little way, but you ain't perfect. I'm not perfect. Nobody's perfect, and I'm not judging nobody. But I'm saying, at the end of the day, I do believe in change. I do believe that things can change, and I do believe that with the power of whatever we put our mind to, we gonna have to do. And I'm gonna manifest that. I'm gonna keep on saying that to myself every day. I'm gonna keep on doing that telling myself that I'm gonna be great, and I'm gonna keep on making a change and making a difference. And then one day I'm gonna be in these history books if we make it that way. But I don't want to be in these history books. I want you guys to be able to see me for right here, for who I am right now. But it's gonna be some time before y'all catch on with this. And I'm realizing this. So now that I'm realizing this, I got to figure out what's my next steps. So believe me when I say, like, this battle has not been an easy battle. This is healing. This is what healing looks like. Healing looks like you screaming and yelling at the walls. Healing looks like you screaming and yelling. You hate things. You dislike things. You can't stand things. Healing looks like some days you can't even get yourself out of the bed. Healing looks like this. Healing looks like scars. Healing looks like your nerves being bad all the time. Healing looks like panic attacks. Healing looks like depression. Healing looks like all of these things. And I'm still in the midst of these things, still recovering. And I just want y'all to know that, like, this ain't easy. This stuff it never gets easier. And they just tell you that to try to make you forget. Like, oh, it's gonna get easier. No, it doesn't get easier. Don't let nobody tell you that. You make it better. You make it better. You make it better. Don't nobody change that. You make it better. The way you walk, the way you talk. You make it better. You make it better. It's so much going on out here in this world, and I just want people to know that y'all not alone. Y'all not. You sad, you upset, you crying, me too. Because this world is just horrid. Like, seriously, I didn't even think these people, and I didn't even think the world could be like this. Do you know I received so much hatred that it's ridiculous? And I'm just now sitting back thinking about, like, at the end of the day, this is what healing's gonna have to look like for me. Sometimes you gotta let some things go. Sometimes you have to be sad. Sometimes you have to be angry. Sometimes you have to literally work out every day so that you can make sure that you're getting up and doing something to feel whole again. Yeah, that's what trauma and pain and anger looks like. Like broke the whole little like I had a whole mindset. I was like literally stopped by this person. Literally put a whole crick in my whole program of thinking mindset. It done got me to the point where I don't even leave the house most days. Like, not even most days. I hardly ever leave the house. And if anybody tell you indifferently, they lying. I got proof and cameras. I hardly ever leave this house. Or when I do leave this house, I go for a long stretch or a distance. And it's just messed up. Like, no matter how far I keep pushing, it's just gonna be always these type of weird things. These moments where I'm always second guess myself because of what somebody else said and did to me. Are you gonna snap out as fast too? That's how I really be looking at people. And it's messed up. I look at them this way, but I'm like, are you gonna snap out as fast too? Like, is you okay? Like, I be worried. Like, I believe that the world could change, but it's just so hard, and it's just so miserable if you really let it get to you. But don't let it get to you, y'all. Don't let it get to you. Be stronger, be smarter, be faster, be fierce, be a force to reckon with. When somebody steps on your toe, say ouch real loud, okay? Real loud. Ah! Because it hurts to think that people can call you out your name, because it hurts to think that people can diminish you. It hurts in a different type of way. Yeah, people probably think that that's just a little sideways way for me to just be upset. No, I'm not upset. I'm hurting a different type of way because listen, the little girl that was standing in the middle, you don't know how much agony she went through, how much agony I went through out in there, and I'm trying to shield everybody from this one person, and not just her, the whole staff. Not just her, my whole staff. Let's talk about it. It's an older lady that was in there. She can barely she really don't move too much. She's not really mobile like that. It's females that stand on the front end talking to them reckless. The men having to go outside and take breaks because they don't want to have to keep going through this with this person. It done got to the point where staff I had to take them outside to be calm. So you know what? At the end of the day, don't let nobody knock you off of your square. Who would you blame if I was crazy? I would say blame the person that broke me, and he know exactly who he is. He know exactly who he is. You do too, because you see it all over my page. But I'm never gonna give up on this fight for the way people are treated. Yeah, bias training. Yep, all that. I need to know. I need to be able to run a facility at 100 at a 133 seconds, and know that my facility is safe for people to come to, even little kids, even little kids. 16, 17-year-olds, little kids, even little kids. I want them to be safe when they in the job. They ain't got to worry about somebody saying, oh, well, that's not true, or pulling a personality into the mix. If you did this, you did this. And these cameras be showing everything. And that's why you always have to keep your phone on you at all times, because that was my only weapon. If he would have put his hands on me in that building, this would have been my only weapon. And he did. He pushed my head into the side of the cooler, but that's neither here nor there. But I got everything. Like, guys, I'm just exhausted mentally from trying to understand why people act like this and do these type of things and think it's okay. I've had somebody say some hateful stuff about me on YouTube too. I didn't even jump on the wave and argue back with them. I'm so calm. I'll wait till the drama and the dust to settle. I'm not finna do none of that. Not gonna do any of that. It's not worth it. Some days you literally have to wake up and just smile for another day. You gotta smile for who you are. Like, one of the reasons why I smile every morning is because I know that there's somebody else out there that needs to hear what I gotta say. And at the end of the day, it might save another little girl's life, another little girl's moment in time where she feel like she going through it rough. Baby, I've been through it. I've been through it, and we gonna make it, baby. And when we done proving this point here, we gonna prove points other places. We gonna make sure that y'all get a brighter future. People always talking about let's open another juvenile. Why come we can't open up a big orphanage? Why we can't do that? Why we can't do one where all the kids can enjoy themselves? One that's real nice, like a big resort or something. Why we can't do that? Why come I can't do that? Matter of fact, why can't I do that? Right? That's where I'm thinking. How can I help? How can I help me? How can I help the kids around me that look like me? How can I make sure that they never gonna be insecure? How can I make sure moving forward that this don't happen to them? They don't get traumatized. They don't get hurt. They don't get upset. They don't cry. They don't have anxiety attacks or have PTSD behind this. Like, I really think it was to seal the deal. Like, I'm under so much medication, it's ridiculous, but I'm really trying to make it, y'all. I'm over here praying that somebody else, little girl, don't have to go through the traumas I'm going through. You feel me? And that's all it's about. But yeah, that's 333. I'm out, y'all. I'm out. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. I ain't gonna lie. It's been a long day. Breaking things down and sending out my energy every day is a lot, but I'm doing it and I have mastered me. Only person I really need to worry about right now is me and my children and the family. Really, it's just about that. That's all I really need to focus on. My goals are to sit down, break this down. For real, for real. So if I'm emotionally scarred, who would you blame? I would blame the person that broke me. I would blame the company. I would blame the people that are responsible. So they gonna try to push all their stuff off on such and such and such and such. Well, really, the problem will really still come back to the same thing. You can't just do whatever you want to do to people and get away with it and do people kids like this on national television and think that we not gonna say something and stand up on it. What if I wouldn't have said something? That's my question, y'all. I'm gonna leave that for y'all to answer. I'm gonna leave that open ended. What if I would not have said nothing? What would have happened? What if I wouldn't have spoke up on this situation? What would have happened to that 16-year-old girl, to that 17-year-old boy? What would have happened to me? What would have happened to Mike? What would have happened? I don't know. I just think that some people really need to hear that. Somebody needs to be thinking this through thoroughly because this ain't a hit. I'm not feeling it. I'm tired. I'm exhausted, and don't let nobody diminish you to make you feel this big. Because baby, I've been there. Now you got to get up and build yourself bigger, 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 stronger, 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 faster, 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 faster. And I think that's what keeps me going. I think that's what keeps me smiling. I think that's what makes our days go on with a breeze. And I want you guys to know that at the end of the day, understanding me, I understand the possibility of you being able to express yourself. So I don't want you guys to ever feel small or diminished or feel like you gotta be somebody you not. But understand the power of the threes. My birthday is March 31st, 1993. And this is a hit, y'all. I'm gonna catch y'all later.